Welcome everyone to another Twitter Spaces hosted by Morningstar Ventures. So over the past year that we've been hosting these Twitter Spaces, we've actually had a couple of roundtables which have been focused on the topic of gaming in Web3. And this is really because a good portion of our Morningstar Ventures portfolio consists of many projects that are actually building within the Web3 gaming space, or whether that's a game or an infrastructure solution, and they're really making a difference with all of their projects. So to highlight more projects that are growing the Web3 gaming space, today we've invited 3 guests to talk to us about the topic of how blockchain is transforming the gaming industry. So with us today are Darcy, the head of partnerships at Sonic, Hugo, co-founder of PlayEmber, and Andy, the CEO and founder of Legend of Arcadia. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, my name is Naini, and co-hosting with me is my colleague Peter. During the session, if you have any questions, please for our guests, please feel free to put these into the comment section of the Twitter Spaces, or you can also wait until the end of the roundtable to ask your question live. Now, without further ado, let's get started with a round of introductions. Darcy, Andy, Hugo, thanks again for joining and welcome to the Twitter Spaces. It's really great to have you on. To get started, it would be great if you guys could briefly introduce yourselves and also tell us a bit more about what it is that you're working on in crypto. I want to say ladies first, so Darcy, why don't you kick us off?
Thank you so much. My name is Darcy, head of partnerships at Sonic. So simply put, Sonic is pushing the gaming at the speed of light on top of Solana. That, in other words, Sonic itself is the first SVM gaming chain using the horizontal scaling network called Hypergrid. Just as a background, Sonic raised over 60 million in total from many investors from Bitcraft Leading, and also Galaxy Interactive, Big Brain Holdings, or Kexbabit and Gastra. Really looking forward to talking with other guests. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Darcy. And what about yourself? How did you get started in the crypto space?
Yes. Before joining Sonic, I'm actually in traditional finance. I'm a so-called banker in structured finance. Then actually, because I do learn a lot during the banking industry, but I didn't find my passion there. I mean, crypto is much more fun, right? Then I joined Sonic about a year ago. Now, yeah, we are keep building.
Amazing. Yeah, structured finance. My husband does that, so I actually understand what that is, but I can imagine crypto is way more fun. Thanks, Darcy. So, Andy, I saw you laughed at that. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself and also what you're working on?
Hey, thanks, Nanny. Great to meet everyone. My name is Andy. I'm the co-founder, executive producer for Legend of Arcadia. It's really funny you guys from finance because I also started my career in finance a long time ago. When I was young and naive and not knowing that, regulated business is not fun, and you can't really innovate in a bank. So I ended up working at Tencent building games, bringing laughter and tears to millions of people globally. Shipped six different products and helped them expand into areas that I think a lot of Chinese companies would not, like India, like South America, different parts of America, the US, etc. I A few years later, I decided that I don't want to work for corporate, so I hung on my suit and gave out my badge, and decided that okay, I want to do something. So I went to a fintech startup, built a digital bank, and scaled it, and eventually brought it into Indonesia and different parts of Southeast Asia. And I realized that I don't want to do banks again. So something's never changing. I do something. So and this is what me and a few friends have decided we wanted to start a gaming studio that allows people to have the freedom of choice and also allowing the community to build with us. It will be more community driven. We'll try to bring that UGC spirit into building this game, and we want to make sure that people can play this game everywhere. And this is how Legendary Arcadia came to be. We're a idle-based RPG card game inspired by the hit game called AFK Arena, in Web 2, which had 45 million downloads, and even after 5 years of publishing, it remains one of the top card games with 1 million plus DAU on a monthly basis. And that is our role model, and we want to bring that to Web 3. We started early testing just in June, July this year. So far, it's been doing quite well. We have over 10,000 MAU on a DAU basis for our games, and as well as we also acquire more than 100K users, launching just a Telegram game to try things out, different experiences, and so far without actually really us pushing it, we hit about 80,000 people. So here we are. Thank you for having us today, and love to share more. And PlayEmber, love you guys, and go mobile and Web3.
Great. Yeah, glad you left banking. I mean, two great people that we got from the banking world, so that's amazing. Hugo, last but definitely not least, are you also coming from banking?
Hey guys, thanks for that, Andy. No, not banking, unfortunately. No, I've been marketing for a little bit, but then into games. Been in games for a long time. Thank you for having me on. So I'm Hugo, co-founder of PlayEmber, and I lead the gaming team here. So ever since I was young, really loved creating games, and the way we do it here at PlayEmber is kind of making stuff really quickly. So coming up with an idea, trying to get it out within like a week, 2 weeks, testing it, iterating on it, and then trying to get it to launch. So the way we work, we kill a lot more games than we than we actually push, but we find it kind of works for us. So PlayEmber is a mobile gaming studio publisher, and we're going into the ecosystem, and we're targeting consumer crypto. So all the kind of mass market mobile players, we want to bring them into Web3. We've had over 130 million downloads, integrating Web3 into all of them. We also have Bitcoin games. Really excited about this spaces, and to go into it all in more detail.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, guys, for the great round of introduction. Actually, let's just dive right into it. And I want to talk a little bit more broadly about the state of Web3 gaming and where we've really come in the last couple of years. So, and whoever wants to kick off this this question, just dive right in. But what do you guys think is the current state of Web3 gaming, and what are some of the main drivers of growth in the sector that you've seen in the past years?
Yeah, for me, I think that up until this point, or certainly a few months ago, the main driver for Web3 gaming has been making money. Basically, you look at all the successful games in the past in Web3, and it was all about making money, and that's super cool. Kind of people, especially in Philippines and areas like that, to actually be able to make money with the game is pretty incredible. I hope we're moving away from that slightly, and it's a bit more kind of game focused than money focused. But I think it's that balance we need to hit.
Andy, you had your hand up. Do you agree? What are your opinions?
I just kept on. Sorry, I was just kept on laughing on the back end here. Sorry, Hugo, but it's actually quite true. Where I do, in my opinion, I think people should be rewarded for their time, and in even Web2 games, the people are using their time to earn something as well too. In that sense, they're trying to earn laughter. They're trying to earn entertainment. They're trying to find the best ways to use their time. I think in Web3, everyone focuses on too much on the earn side of things. Where is what are you earning exactly? Are you earning a token or earning friendship? So for us, I think that is the state of Web3 games today. But where I think it's kind of missing right now is I feel everyone is kind of stuck in terms of how they run their games. I don't know how you guys feel. It just the whole point system really bothers me. And I think there's so many point farming systems out there. It's not really effectively actually capturing the right audience. And then when you launch your token and you launch your game, you're not really getting the results that you want. And that's where you see a lot of people being disappointed. I kind of feel this is where the industry is, where people are not thinking their plans out thoroughly. They're just saying, oh, this looks cool. Let's just hop onto that and just do it. But not holistically planning like the days we used to in Web2 gaming, where we actually have a publishing state, where we actually think about what's next, what are the key steps we want to hit before we actually get the game live and share it to the bigger part of users. This is how we're I feel kind of missing in the industry right now, where people haven't really thought through the process quickly. They just want to launch a token and that's it. But what's after the token is something that people haven't really got there yet. And that's kind of quite it'll be quite interesting to see how it's going to evolve. Especially, I see a lot of games that's come up towards the end of the year. A lot of them are going to be mobile games. A lot of them will be based on live ops. Strategies will likely be a little bit different than what we've seen in the past 2 years. So it'll be quite interesting to see how things evolve.
Darcy, what do you think about this, especially given that Sonic right now is launching and running the points program and working with a lot of games that are going to build on top of that?
I kind of stopped laughing as well. I totally agree with the two guest speakers. That's definitely right now people just want to make money, even if in gaming. So I think currently for most gaming projects, DeFi is actually the core of game design. So many GameFi projects are essentially DeFi protocols disguised as games. I mean, the typical process, for example, involves purchasing NFT from the project, then using these NFTs in the game. That's kind of staking. They engage in gameplay to mine tokens, that is liquidity mining. So in this context, players in blockchain games aren't just playing for enjoyment. They often behave more like miners. They're calculating the cost of entry and potential earnings. I mean, if the cost of participation exceeds the returns of the break-even period, becomes too long, they tend to just leave the game. This is a signal to the market that the game is nearly sane. But I do think there are some emerging trends in the Web3 gaming, which I think we met at the corner of going to the next stage. Uh, because we do see some trends coming in. Firstly, the development of infrastructure. I mean, since the last year, we've seen significant progress in the infrastructure for blockchain games, which is making it easier for Web2 players to enter the blockchain gaming space. These include various low gas layer 2 chains, MPC wallet, and login SDK built into game engines. This development lays the foundation for attracting more mainstream users, even though they are still being refined. So yes, I can kind of hold a more positive trend in the future. I mean, the corner is probably just around, as well as we witness the entry of some traditional game developers, make the games more enjoyable to play.
Totally agree. And yeah, moving on to the gaming infrastructure and the benefits of blockchain technology, because a lot of people, especially from traditional market, they ask always like, why do you need blockchain and crypto for games? So I want to ask you and discuss the topic of what are the main like use cases and benefits, and why do you think blockchain is so important and necessary for the future of gaming? Because we saw some titles moving away from Web3 elements back to like traditional type of launch, but we are still there, and we're still all believers in Web3 gaming and why it's needed, and what do you think are the main drivers and the main benefits of blockchain being integrated in the gaming space? Who wants to take this one first?
Yeah, I'll go for it. For us, kind of 2 points. So one is kind of the interoperability. So we're building out our kind of mobile game ecosystem, and everyone has an account, a wallet, and an avatar, and they are able to kind of take that across all of our games, our Roblox. In time, it will be our Nintendo Switch games, our mobile games, and even our kind of web dashboard games. So that's something that we have found blockchain infrastructure really, really helpful with. And then the other part in Web2 gaming, there's such a focus on, or in Web2 we call them like tier 1 countries. So they're like US, Japan, UK, Germany, and they're where you make the majority of your revenue, your ad revenue. But we found that actually blockchain infrastructure has kind of leveled that playing field. So in Web2, US, UK, most people have bank accounts, and that's not the case in other countries. But with blockchain, actually, everyone can have a blockchain wallet. And we found that actually we've started to focus on those geographies more and more, and we've actually found our kind of user numbers go up and our retention go up as well. So yeah, they've been two two big drivers for us on the infrastructure side.
I'll add a point in there as well too. So I think payments is definitely a big use case that we see as well. So I quite agree with Hugo there, especially in Southeast Asia or other countries where there's no access to credit. So they were not able to actually use any types of forms of Web2 payments to actually buy anything within games. That was like a barrier. So I think with blockchain infrastructure, the readiness and the availability of cheap payments actually solved this. But I think more importantly for us, one thing we really love about blockchain and how it shapes our game was the liquidity side of things. Especially from a design perspective, there is a core reason why we decided to build a card game versus a MOBA or something else. It was because I think we want to bring liquidity into a game, and that was something that we couldn't do in Web 2, but we feel we could do in Web 3. Especially if you think about, I'm certain, just curiosity, just to speakers and the host as well. Have you guys played card games before? Like any types of card games?
Yeah, I personally played Hearthstone, and I played a bit Cross the Ages, which is also a Web3 card game.
Yeah. So Peter, I hope you can appreciate that back in the days in Web 2, when you play Hearthstone, there's definitely a bunch of cards you don't need, or it's just redundant and just sitting somewhere in your systems. But with Web 3, you can now able to trade them freely, liquidity, and would have price tag on top of it. That was something that really attracted us as well too when we were building Legend Arcadia, and that was something where we want people to be trading. We also want people to be actually, giving like selling things that they don't need. At the same time, what we actually did was we created we just took inspiration from what we built in Web 2 gaming and built a really interesting mechanism where we allow people to upgrade the cards by burning the cards. And with you burning cards, you change your appearances, you change your stats. This is something that we haven't really quite seen in Web3 today, and we rolled out this, and so far the feedback has been great. But again, if it wasn't because of all this liquidity, I probably would have I still have my cards sitting in my Clash Royale or other games, and just sitting there. No, I don't know what to do with it. Nowadays, I can give away these cards and allow people to use it, and that freedom of choice was something that really attracted us.
Thanks, Andy. What about you, Darcy? It would also be interesting to hear from your side.
Thank you so much. I agree on what Andy mentioned on the on-ramp and off-ramp and the liquidity. That's actually exactly what the Sonic team was doing before rebuilding Sonic. And at the same time, I do believe the infrastructure laid the foundation of game development and also is the cap of game development. From gamers' perspective, seamless gaming experiences are everything. I mean, no one wants to be stuck waiting for a simple operation to complete. This is why we emphasize the importance of choosing the right gaming blockchains. I mean, blockchains optimized for high throughput and low latency is critical for seamless gaming experiences. This infrastructure mature, they could become the go-to choice for developers and gamers, offering unique advantages like specialized token standards and interoperability features. Um, that leads to another significant trend is the discussion surrounding game interoperability. The future of gaming emphasizes interoperability, allowing asset experiences to move seamlessly across different games and platforms. That's actually one of the key features of Sonic as a manifestation of Solana gaming, which means there's atomic interoperability between Sonic and Solana, and also provides composable gaming primitives and sandbox environment together with monetization infrastructure.
Thank you, Darcy. And it leads me to the next question that I had specifically to you is you mentioned a lot of features and a lot of directions that Sonic is working on, and you're building on top of Solana. And the main question was why Solana is chosen blockchain for building the gaming solution, and what does the Solana ecosystem looks like right now, and how do you think it can be improved?
Okay, so on the first question, why Solana? There, we can break it down to technical reasons and non-technical. I mean, for technical ones, you can definitely speaking of separation of state and logic, the localized fee markets, the C-level parallel processing, or even proof of history with real-world timers. But I think the most important reason is on non-technical ones. I mean, if you go to the any a website, you can see the Solana actually has a largest on-chain volume for DEXs. It also has largest decentralized community, including super team. They have 16 teams across the world, across US, Europe, Asia, Dubai. This actually, for example, when we are trying to expand Sonic and together with the games deployed on our game, we choose to working together with super team to build communities of ourselves. And also the third reason, I do see there are amazing asset liquidity infrastructure, which is quite important for gaming projects. I mean, SVM itself, Solana Virtual Machine, offers faster user experience than any existing ones. That's about the question, like why Solana is a chosen blockchain for games. And at the same time, I think it's also important to mention why gaming for Solana. I do want to dive a little bit deeper here. There are three main reasons why there need to be SVM for Solana. So technical innovations, games cost limits on TPS and composability. So oftentimes there's congestion issues. Star Atlas, which is one of the largest games on Solana last year, for example, it drove 15% to 20% of entire mainnet transactions. And Sonic here offers a scaling solution to scale Solana. There are also other reasons why gaming for Solana, such as asset diversity and liquidity, and also to track the users. So, well, to be honest, Solana has developed strong DeFi, NFT, and DePIN communities than gaming. Although Solana's on-chain gaming system still is early stage, but undoubtedly the foundation, the whole ecosystem looking forward to have tremendous development in the future. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you so much, Darcy. And I think for the last few minutes, we all became the brand advocates of Solana. So really good thesis behind and really strong. And I think now it's a great time also to give a stage for Hugo and for Andy to share a bit which infra are you building on top on, and why did you choose the specific solution you're utilizing in your games and products?
Yeah, we're doing EVM. Sorry, Darcy. I know Chris. I've known your CEO Chris for many years. We actually before the funny thing is that before Sonic was born, me and him had a really long conversation last year, just around token, and what he told me was that after our conversation, he had the idea Sonic was born. So technically, I also contributed to the idea in some form or way as well. But why we doing EVM is that I think we want to us, it's really about where the users are. Because as everyone could understand, especially I'm certain Hugo has the same issue, is that user acquisition in Web3 is really hard. Like it's insane. I feel it's insanely 1,000 times harder than Web2 because in Web2 at least I can just go to Google and Facebook or centralized channels to acquire users. In Web3 I can't do that because I can't. There is no way to identify what is my core target audience. So we want to go to make our lives a bit easier and to make sure there's plenty of liquidity. We chose EVM as a spot. And then secondly, the other side of it is that for mobile games, it's very Asian focused. So we feel that in Asia there's a lot more adoption in terms of EVM versus other ecosystems. And just by starting with that, and I think it'll give us a good foundation. And it's actually getting very interesting in space as well too, because you see like Movement Labs, which is bringing the Move language layer onto EVM. My friend Joanna, who is building soon, is now bringing an SVM layer on using optimistic rollups into EVM. So I do envision a future where things will be interoperable and multi-chain will not just be a dream, but a reality. And that will actually allow us to actually experiment and move beyond where we are today. Yes, going back to you, Peter. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Yeah, a slightly longer answer from us. So we're building on quite a few different chains. So yeah, EVM, we definitely are. Quite a lot of our backend is built on Near. near blockchain, and that was chosen just because of the really low gas fees and the scalability of it. We also have a game on IMX coming out soon. But Andy touched on it earlier, how UA is really hard in Web3. And we actually see the different chains kind of like a UA user acquisition opportunity as well. So can we go and create a game with IMX, show all the people on IMX that, hey, PlayEmber make really cool, fun, small games, and kind of bring them over and bring them within our ecosystem. So that's how we're kind of attacking it. But I second what Andy said, that certainly on the Asian side, EVM is number one at the moment, and that's a definite focus for us too.
Cool. I think now we're all set on the infrastructure topics, whether it's EVM, whether it's Solana, or even Near. And now we want to speak more about the building actual products, about the building of fun games. That is also very important. Not only have infra, but also have product, which is very lacking in the Web3 space in general. So Hugo, I want to ask you from the gaming studio perspective, as you're working on the multiple titles, what makes the game really good? As a gaming studio, you're probably like working with with different ideas and with different concepts every day. And what criteria do you have to decide whether the game will succeed or not? And how do you evaluate the market, especially given all the features and all the challenges of Web3 space?
Cool. Yeah. So I suppose the first bit is, for us, we do believe a good game is a good game, kind of regardless of it being Web 2 or Web 3. And even if there is an incentive with Web 3, you want people to keep on playing your game after an airdrop campaign or whatever it may be. So yeah, we go over a lot of criteria when deciding if a game will be a success or not. The first one we look at is CPI, which is cost per install. So basically, if that's really low, that means we can scale more aggressively. So we test on all kind of the major social platforms, and we do videos of the gameplay, and we just see if people click through and want to come into our game. We do lots of video testing. So one bit that's kind of drummed into us from our user acquisition team is the best part of your game, or the bit that kind of makes people go, wow, needs to be in the first 3 seconds of that video. And that usually kind of gets the CPI lower. And then basically, if you've got a tick there that, okay, CPI is low enough that this could scale, then it's all about the in-game metrics. So then you're kind of onto retention and playtime. So you want retention to be as high as possible, how many people keep on coming back to the game, and then playtime, how long people actually stay within the game. So we're trying to change stuff within the game, make it really sticky. We're also looking at churns and funnels. So, for example, then in Raft Life, we may see a huge drop-off after people have finished chopping down logs and now they're fishing. If we see a big drop-off, that means people don't understand or there's a bug, and we'll look into that and kind of try and sort all those parts out. If that again is a tick, so we've got a tick for CPI and kind of in-game retention and playtime, then it's on to monetization. So that could be Web 2 monetization or Web 3. And there we're really looking for every user or activity they do within the game to be more than the CPI. So Peter, if you play our game and you want to buy an NFT, which is $5, and we have only spent $3 on getting you into the game, that means that's a success, and we will continue to kind of scale that game. So they're the three main topics or criteria that we keep on going through and continue to test, not just at the start of a game, but kind of throughout. And we've actually found that the most important one in all of this is actually more the CPI, because that can really reignite an old game. So say an old game is it has I don't know 5,000 daily active users. It's just kind of trundling along. Actually, if we manage to find a video that is getting people into the game at half the cost, that actually means we can scale it really, really aggressively, and kind of reignite that game and start to push more people there. So yeah, that's it for us.
That's an interesting methodology. Yeah. So to like sum it up, you have CPI, cost per install.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Game playtime and retention, and monetization in Web 2 and Web 3, right? So those are the three methods that you're using. That's really cool. I wonder also, what have you been seeing in terms of like what's doing really well in terms of your metrics? Like, are there any genres or any specific games where you're like, yeah, they're killing it at the moment?
One thing that always seems to work for us. So we have a very casual card game called Hypercards, and if you kind of think Pokemon cards, opening up packs, collecting things, we've always found, and especially with the Web3 audience, that collection meta works super well. And I think it's just kind of inbuilt that if you have like 98 out of the 100 cards, you're going to do everything you can to kind of get those last two. So we've found that works really well.
Perfect. And that's actually a perfect segue to you, Andy, because you're obviously building a mobile casual strategy card game, right? Which is a very famous genre, also within Web2 gaming, obviously. But also you guys recently launched your Telegram mini game. So congrats on that. First of all, how is that going? How has it been since the launch?
Thanks, Nanji. No, so the Telegram game is great. We actually haven't really went out and run partnerships or do anything with it. I think we got around 80,000 monthly active users right now, and we only started just in August 8th, if my memory is correct. So it's been, I think, one thing that we took inspiration from was the days when I was at Tencent, I was using WeChat. I actually started the first few versions of WeChat games was actually only for internal, and actually had the pleasure of trying out and actually and then giving them thoughts on how they should be done. We're taking these two experiences and bringing them to Telegram. So it's wonderful to see how there's a lot of deja vu in here.
Sorry, can you repeat your last thing? I think you were a bit cut off there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So no, I said I started, so I think there's a lot of deja vu for us when we saw.
Andy, I'm sorry. I think you're cutting off with your connection.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yes, now it's better.
Okay, weird. Okay. Well, no, I was saying that it's just back in the days of so a lot of things we see in Telegram games today, it's a bit of deja vu because we saw a lot of these back in the days when I was building mini games in Tencent, and in the early days when it was still only for internal only, it gave us a lot of liberty to test things out, and a lot of these lessons it's still remain valid, and we took them into building our own Telegram game today.
Yeah, and also with your background at Tencent, that's quite interesting. I wonder, what do you think? How does this really help attract more non-crypto audiences and also ensure wider distribution?
I think, to be honest, the way I look at Telegram games today is that it's insanely simple, actually a bit too simple. So it's a great way to onboard people who does not know crypto and actually help them understand. But the truth is, I think the next thing that people should think about is, so how do I actually take away the bots? And then how do I think about monetization? Because that is something that a lot of times for crypto, people don't really think about when you start the projects. For us, one thing that we have realized over time is that making money is important for a studio, because if you don't have any kind of resource of revenue, you can't survive, and you actually can't build new things that will actually bring entertainment or fun to your users. But if you actually look at all the Telegram games today, there really isn't much monetization, or people aren't really thinking about it. So I think the natural thing for people to think next, especially as they build Telegram games, and this is a lesson that we did from WeChat. WeChat did not have any monetization in the early days. it took them a few years before they decided to come out with using ads to monetize. Crypto games should make it a little faster, and especially with when payment's so easy, you should be able to think about how do you actually bring monetization.
Sorry, Andy, I think you broke off again.
Ways of monetization into.
Oh, yeah, Andy, great points, by the way.
Yeah.
I think you're coming in and out a little bit with your connection, Andy, but yeah, really great points in terms of the adoption of Telegram and what it can do for the gaming space. Darcy, I'm also curious to hear your opinion, actually, from the Sonic side, what you think about the channel of Telegram and how this can catapult the gaming space forward.
Yes, that's a good question. I think whichever narrative or story we're telling, or whichever hit game is right now, I think in essence is long-term operating capability, high DAU ceilings, reasonable design and distribution of game asset and meet players' needs for either it is for profit for now or improving gaming experiences. That would be fine. So yeah, the especially NordCon, several months ago, like last month is quite popular, because the gameplay is very straightforward. Like user just earn virtual currency simply by clicking on a coin icon on the screen. That all they all I mean, because they are very easy to play, it draw a large user base. I think they are over 30 million participants and an average of 5 million daily active users, which showcases its significant market potential. But overall, I think because as I mentioned in Essen, those characters are important to have a good game. But sometimes it is really hard to balance or to gain them all. So maybe for games to focus on a different, I mean, for a segmented market and using a specific character to draw a certain group of audience, that would be good enough to go.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Darcy. And I just wanted to move on a little bit more from the Telegram side, maybe to the other channels. What do you guys think in terms of, do you see any change in attitudes towards Web3 gaming projects from other like major distribution platforms like Steam, the App Store, and Google Play as, you know, the Web3 gaming market matures? Hugo, maybe you want to take this one?
Yeah. Well, we're certainly seeing that Apple and Google are kind of weakening their stance on crypto and kind of letting more and more in, especially Google. Apple can be a pain, to be honest, still. But with Google Play especially, so we have about, I think, 10 or 11 Bitcoin games live now. And that's where you effectively play these kind of small casual games. The more you play, the more Satoshis you get rewarded. And we've seen super good stats from that, and actually people coming back and playing more and more often because they're being rewarded for doing so. Google Play are absolutely fine with them, and actually are kind of actively pushing them because they have good stats. We're in talks with Apple currently on getting those kind of through the review process. But yes, generally, I think everything is moving in the right direction. I think these big companies just almost don't know what to do with crypto sometimes, and there's such a grey area for them. They don't want to come out with something and have kind of no way back. But yeah, generally stuff seems to be getting more and more positive. On the Steam side, it's actually kind of outside of my wheelhouse. I'm not quite sure on that front.
Yeah, of course, makes sense. Andy, what about you?
I was going to add on to Hugo when he says Steam side. I don't think Gabe will actually change his mind. So because if you look at Steam today, it's becoming the de facto platform for most PC games. I don't think they'll change their mind, and that's what we've seen with them as well too. But I think for the distribution platforms, let me maybe add a point with Apple and Google. I think Google is a bit more liberal when it comes to having Web3 games on top of it. We have spoken with different parts of our team in the past, and I think in principle they are quite open to new ideas. It's just that they're trying to figure out what is something they want to make sure they stay compliant. And given that there's such a big platform today, and if everyone has the ability to bypass their own payment system, and potentially get into data laws that then they'll get themselves in trouble. So I think that's them. Apple will always be Apple. Let's just put it that way. I just don't want to comment too much on it. I think you guys all know how it feels. But we are also seeing new ways of distribution. To be honest, I think cloud gaming is making comeback as well too. I think for when I talk to a lot of deepen projects, one of the things that they're also keen to do is that how do they actually fully utilize their infrastructure that they have built, and how do they bring games on top of it? I think that's potentially a new distribution channel that we think will be quite interesting, given that they've sold a lot of nodes in the past, and given that they also have also a substantial number of users holding their tokens as well. So that's something that we're actually looking at the distribution channel. Another distribution channel I would say that we're also quite exploring is through the form of QR code with digitals. So for us, the games, it's based on a universe. It's based on the direction we're trying to push it towards is to see if we can turn this into IP or become something that people can do UGC or build upon. Which it's something. The reason being is that we've actually seen a lot of people taking our characters and mixing them up in the past year, and that was actually quite interesting. There's a lot of memes. There's a lot of different pictures. I've seen people put my face in there as well too. So it's that building the culture that gets me thinking. Maybe this could potentially. Maybe how do we actually think about a game evolving into a decentralized IP where anyone can use and license whatever that we're building and help contribute to the universe or build something on top of it. I think this will be a great distribution channel because it'll get people to see what it is, especially if they're sharing with their close friends, then I'm certain the people we acquire will actually become paying users or actually users that can retain in the game. So I think these are two things that we're spending quite a bit of time on, especially post token listing. We want to fully build our own publishing strategies, and how do we go beyond what we have today is something that we constantly ourselves.
Great to get some more insight from you there, Andy. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of the way that it's going into like a decentralized IP, and also I feel like distribution channels they need to catch up. Like in 5 years, a lot of these channels will look back and say, "Damn it, why didn't we join the Web3 space earlier?" But yeah, one day hopefully this will happen. I just wanted to remind the audience, by the way, we've got a good amount of people who've joined since the beginning of the session. So welcome, everyone. I just wanted to remind you that we are always excited to hear questions from the audience to our speakers. So if you have any questions for PlayEmber, Sonic, or Legend of Arcadia, please put that into the comments section, or also feel free to raise your hand. And we can request you to speak. So yes, don't be shy. Questions are encouraged. Let's move on. Darcy, I just wanted to hear if you had any comments on the distribution and channel side and what your thoughts are on that.
I think Hugo and Andy already made a great point here. Especially Andy, you mentioned some interesting trend in the gaming publishing. I'm gonna pass this question.
All right, sounds good. So while we wait for a eager audience member to ask a question, I think it would be interesting also to move into another hot topic, which is obviously AI. We can't escape AI. It's everywhere. I think it's enhancing a lot of our lives. And how do you guys think AI is actually impacting the blockchain gaming market at the moment? And are you guys looking into implementing AI into your projects, or have you already done it? Who wants to take this one?
I could
Go ahead.
take it first.
By the way, sound is perfect from you now. All good. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. All right. I would say so. We do use AI in our work, um, because we are a small studios. I don't have the same budget that I used to have back in the days when it was Tencent. So we have to think of ways to be creative and use what we have in our hands. So for some of the characters that we're building today within the game, they're generated from AI. And then all of our characters, when you actually open loot boxes, their skins are all randomized. These are all generated by AI as well too. And some are sound effects generated by AI and many more. But if you ask me how we want to use AI in the game right now, it's part of the experience. We haven't figured that out yet ourselves. We think AI can transform it, but I don't. My biggest fear is that AI will take away the creativity of the players, and then it won't be fair for them. So and if I can easily turn to an agent, but I want people to play more on the PvP side of things rather than actually playing on the PvE, because I'd rather them helping me think about what story they want to write rather than talk to an agent. So it's a delicate balance we're trying to navigate right now, but I do see potentials for that, maybe just not now.
Really similar on this side, that yeah, we're using AI just in our general kind of day-to-day to try and speed up certain parts, but we think it's a real skill to use it properly as well. Sometimes you get, I know, the image that you really, really want, but then you can't replicate it or edit something with it. And yeah, we found it at the moment perhaps actually doesn't save us time, but we think it's certainly something that is not going away, and we need to get better and better at using it to kind of quicken our processes. But yeah, and sometimes it's like so scary what it can do. It's unbelievable. But yeah, that's how we're using it on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, I definitely agree with Andy and Hugo that like AI right now is more like improving productivity or help with the AI generated thing. Like because we are speaking to lots of projects claiming themselves having AI empowered this or that. But to be honest, it's more like a subtle fantasy to track attention, to brand it themselves, but there aren't really AI application out there. Well, we do see the positive trend in the AI in the future, and we do hope to support real AI projects. But right now, we might be a little bit cautious out there, and really hope the real value from AI.
Cool. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your takes on AI. And I think we discussed quite a lot of trends of the blockchain gaming industry, including Telegram mini apps, DeepIn and cloud gaming, now AI. So probably we missed something, and you guys see some trends and narratives that you see are picking up, and where builders and projects and VCs should look at, or something that you're personally excited about. Who wants to share the observations on the market?
Yeah, let me chime in here very quickly because it's an interesting topic that you brought up. I think a lot of times people focus on big things and not small things. That's the issue, I think, with in whether it's VCs or communities. I'll give you an example, Peter. I think a lot of we talk to investors from time to time, even our own investors as well, like Animoca, OKX, the Coin ID guys, and many more. One of the things they always ask me, Andy, why don't you build a platform? Why are you building a single game? Why don't you turn this into a platform, turn this into some chain, and then you can actually go tell a bigger story and then raise more money. The truth is, I think sometimes being small is okay, and sometimes being focused is more important than actually trying to think something big. And that was a core reason why we decided to just build Legend Arcadia and be very focused on building Legend Arcadia, because I want to make sure this goes out. I want to make sure this becomes a success. I want to make sure that whoever supported us will see this grow along with us. So this is where throughout the session today we're talking about how we're thinking about post listing, how we're thinking about building our publishing space, how are we thinking about tactics that we understand from Web2, and how we actually grow into an IP rather than just a publishing platform that everyone has been talking about or another chain. So we're trying to iterate on what we are building today and iterate with everyone and actually work with different people along this journey. So I think that's something that I just kind of sorry, this might be a little blunt, but I just want to share with everyone that sometimes being small is fine. You don't have to. I don't have to be the biggest thing out there, but I just want to be most focused and be most dedicated projects to the people that supported me. That is what my goal is right now and my focus.
Thank you for a very interesting take, and it goes a bit against of the very common approach when everyone these days is becoming L2 or becoming infra or becoming platform or becoming an ecosystem, which is a quite interesting suggestion for founders and teams that are might listening right now. The spaces that staying focusing and staying dedicated to one project and one idea and one specific niche is sometimes the good strategy. But of course, it all depends on the nature of the project and your goals and the overall strategy. Hugo, Darcy, what do you think about the upcoming trends or alternatively something that you don't like probably about the Web3 gaming right now?
Sure. Yeah, for us, current trends, it's impossible to ignore Telegram at the moment. Being completely honest, we are starting to look into it and get into it, but yeah, we're looking closely there, especially the TGs that are coming up, seeing what exchanges they get on the big kind of Telegram games. But yeah, that does seem like a brilliant fit for yeah, mobile gaming and also crypto gaming. How you can actually spend crypto in game effectively on a game on the App Store is really, really cool, and something we're kind of looking into. So I don't think Telegram games are going anywhere at all. Yeah, mentioned earlier our Bitcoin games, just that kind of light touch of Web3 into our before Web2 games seems to be working quite well. So that's bringing kind of consumer crypto in with something they recognize and they know. So everyone knows Bitcoin. They're not as scared of Bitcoin as they once were. And that's actually kind of a segue. But with all the tests we do, we did lots and lots of CPI videos mentioning crypto as like the main thing. Hey, come in and earn this or earn this NFT, and the conversion rates were really, really bad. And actually, what seemed to work is you get someone into a game, you get them liking the game, and then you kind of say, hey, you're already doing this. Now you can be rewarded with this thing, this asset, this little bit of Bitcoin, this NFT, and then that kind of keeps them within the game for longer. So, yeah, again, a segue, but that's one thing that we found that actually crypto on the consumer crypto mass market side hasn't been a huge driver to getting people in, but it's been a massive help to keep people within the games for longer.
Thank you so much, and great insight about the Bitcoin games. I think this is the area and the perspective of Web2 and mass audience on the Bitcoin, and opposite to other cryptocurrencies and tokens. I think that's a good suggestion and niche to work on. Darcy, how do you think? What do you see probably within the Solana or just on the market? I know you're building on the most trending chain, which is Solana right now, but probably you can share more thoughts.
Yes, thank you, Peter. Well, if I speak too much about the scalability of Solana, that would be look too much like a branding ourselves. But I do want to mention one interesting fact that from the conversation with this gaming project, and also in the in with other stakeholders, that we do find there is gap between a good game that attract users in the longer term, that is also improving game experiences. Between this aim and the fact that our product want to go listing. There's a joke that we are talking about that like some projects start their business facing exchanges. So to be honest, there is sometimes the aim can be aligned. At the same time, it's a good gaming project, but at the same time, but also fit the metric standard of exchanges. But at the same time, sometimes there is a bit gap. So I do think going back to the former essence we talked about, that whichever narrative, story, or technology, as long as it serves the purpose of long-term operating capabilities, that drive sustained growth would be our main focus in the near.
That's a great takeaway, Darcy. Thank you for that. And on that note, actually, it's almost the end of our roundtable. I feel like that flew by. But before we say goodbye, we just wanted to give you an opportunity to let the audience know a little bit more about any alphas that or things that you guys have been working on. When can we expect some new launches? What about TGE? So yeah, the floor is yours.
I'll be the shameless one, and then I'll just go on stage then. So a few things I would say. So Telegram game is a priority for us. We're iterating on top of it right now. So I think for a lot of, do watch out for it. We actually will have new experiences come out in next days actually, if my engineers actually got it out properly. So do watch out for new experiences, and we are thinking of ways that we want to enable points right now. So when in the early part of the roundtable, I did say the point system is broke right now. We do agree on that. We're actually thinking, so directionally we're thinking of something similar to a point system, similar to how when you go to just like airlines or different programs, you will get points, and these points will actually allow you to buy different things and many more. So we are actually thinking about, on top of potentially the airdrop campaign that we're doing, why don't we allow people to use these points to allow them to buy in-game assets? So this is directionally how we're trying to create bright innovation and changes into this. So that's first thing. Secondly, we're going to be traveling around. If you're part of the community, feel free to come and say hi to us. We'll be at Korean Blockchain Week next week, and then also during Tokens. So feel free to come drop by, and we'll have some activations there with our community. I am a big community person. A lot of times I tell people is that when we started, we had nothing, but 2 years later, we actually, I'm grateful that we actually have a lot of supporters backing us. So that's something I'm quite grateful for, and I still remain humble and listening to them. Lastly, user acquisition is hard. My marketing person will kill me if I don't go onto space and tell people to just follow our Twitter, follow my Twitter as well, and follow our Twitter. So we do post on things on it. What I tell people is that I am the alter ego. I'm the off-script version of our main account. So if you want to follow my account for the True Alpha, and also on top of Legend Arcadia, which will give you insights on what we're building and campaigns and many more. Thanks, guys.
Amazing. I love the alter ego comment. And Andy, actually, while I have you, there was a question for you specifically in the comment section, which was from Wayne, who thought, are there any thoughts around creating physical cards from tokenized collections and also tokenizing real life cards?
No. Sorry, I actually thought about that originally, because when we traveled to different conferences, we thought it'd be cool if we just give people a card. But in reality, I think physical cards get lost. But physical dolls and things, it's one is that they're bigger, so they're more tradable. And then secondly, I think cards wise, I actually have built trading card games in my life in the past, and it's very expensive to maintain on longer term. So from a cost perspective, unless there are millions of users, it doesn't quite make sense. That's just based on my experience and perspectives.
Fair. Wayne, I hope that answered your question. And on that note, also, by the way, we are going to be Peter is going to be in Korea. And also a couple of our team members are going to be in Singapore. And we are hosting side events at both venues. So keep an eye out on our socials on that as well. Hugo, any alphas from your side?
Sure thing. Yeah, so as Andy said, yeah, follow us on Twitter and join us on Discord for more kind of regular updates. But we're always creating mobile MB games as well as Roblox games. We've also got our creator program that's up and running now, and we have an amazing bunch of creators that we're kind of helping as much as we can to teach them and kind of get really, really impressive influencers in to do kind of weekly lessons with them to kind of learn the space and really kind of drive down on what they want their kind of expertise to be in this kind of Web3 creator space. So yeah, if you want to get involved in that, please do DM us or follow us on Twitter or join Discord. And then a little bit of alpha is that we have a Pix1 mobile game coming in the next kind of 1 to 2 weeks, so keep your eyes out for that. That will be available on Google Play and Apple App Store. I'm really, really excited about that one.
Amazing. Darcy, any alphas from Sonic?
Yes, sure thing. So firstly, we launched testnet 2 months ago. Now over 2 million active users. So feel free to join the testnet and play some of the games deployed. And I think what is more exciting is we announced the Hypergrid Guardian node yesterday, or simply put, as a node license key sale. So it's a quite exciting opportunity for those interested in SVN to get involved and be part of the ecosystem, part of the Solana ecosystem. The pricing is quite aggressive, not aggressively high, but aggressively low. We hope community can enjoy part of it. The detailed information is in our Twitter, including everything you need to know. Exclude time. The exact date is going to be closed next week, but the sale probably gonna around September, mid-September. And yes, please keep an eye on that. Thank you.
Exciting, guys. And with that, that's the end of our Twitter Spaces. Thank you so much for joining and for taking the time and sharing all of your insights and alphas with us. It was a really great session. As said, the session is recorded and we always push it live on wherever you hear your podcast. So that's Spotify, Apple Podcast, you name it, that will be live next week, along with a written summary of the Twitter Spaces. So keep an eye out for that. We host Twitter Spaces twice a month with either a group of experts in a specific topic or one-to-one interviews with founders. So yeah, stay tuned for the next one. And it was great to have everyone on. Thank you and bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks everyone. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.